All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And welcome to Dominic Studio. So
Thank
we're
you.
going to have a quick fire session.
Okay.
Just a few questions.
Shoot.
Fun questions.
Shoot. I'm
Yeah,
ready
so,
for quickfire.
So let's start off with your memories about Kenya. You see, you spent a part of your childhood here in Kenya. So what are some of the beautiful memories that you have?
So anyway, my dad was one of my predecessors. So my dad was ambassador of Belgium in Kenya in the 70s, from late 1975 to early 1979. And my sister and I finished high school at St. Mary's School in Nairobi. So, as you know, high school times are the funnest time of your life, right? You have no responsibilities. You're old enough to go do fun stuff on your own, right?
Yeah, true.
Without mom and dad or anybody watching you. And we got to do that in Nairobi. We got to do that here in Kenya, which was quite amazing. You know, and then obviously we would also come down to the coast every once in a while. So that was. Those were good times.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And when you are studying in Kenya, maybe you're growing up, did you ever, or maybe perhaps were you ever given a Kenyan nickname or just a childhood nickname?
Actually, yeah, I was.
What is it?
I was called Kamau.
Why? Maybe you know the reason.
I have no idea why they call me Kamau. I mean, it was just, I guess, they were friends of my parents also.
Okay.
Wanted to make me be part of their family, so they gave me a name that fit in their family. They call me Kamau.
Yeah, that's true. And so having spent some part of your childhood or maybe growing up in Kenya, that means you are familiar with some cultural, social activities
A little bit.
in the country. Yeah, so what is that one social or maybe cultural activity that you find
Nyama
beautiful?
choma.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you like
Boozy parties. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so one ironical history about yourself is that your father, that was the ambassador to Belgium ambassador to Kenya in the 70s, presented his credentials to the first Kenyan president,
Yes.
that is Jomo Kenyatta.
Yes.
And then decades later, you presented your credentials to Jomo Kenyatta's son, that is the former president.
I was my father's son, and I presented credentials to Jomo's son. Yes.
Yes, that is right. You know, that is something that is almost impossible.
In a kingdom, it can happen.
Yeah.
In a kingdom, it can happen because the succession on the head of state side is pretty automatic from father to son.
Yeah.
But in a republic, there's so many stars that have to align for this to happen.
That is very true.
And it happened with us. Yeah, it happened with Uhuru and myself. I mean, and oh, by the way, Uhuru and I were classmates at St. Mary's.
That's right. Yeah.
So we've known each other for forever. It was actually quite funny. We were giggling like teenagers, and the officials standing around us had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
It was quite hilarious.
Yeah, so the fact that you're presenting him your credentials and you're already gone to school together, you're actually classmates. So how did this personal connection with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, how did it shape your approach when you arrived in Kenya as an ambassador?
Well, when an ambassador arrives in post, the first year or the first 6 months or 12 months, obviously are all about building a network. A network in the diplomatic community, a network in the diaspora community, but most importantly, a network in your host country community. The politicians, business people, or the business side, the NGO side, etc. Well, a lot of that part of my work of building that particular network on the Kenyan side, I already had a network.
Yes.
Because there was my teenage friends, my school friends from when I was teenager, were very much part of Kenya's tapestry, if you will, and so that made it easy for me to integrate. Number one. Number two, the other thing you do when you come as not just as an ambassador but as a diplomat is you try and learn the history of the country so that you can analyze and understand what's happening in the country at any given time from its historical perspective. Well, I've been following Kenyan politics and Kenyan society for 50 years since I lived here. So also that gave me an insight into stuff that was happening in the political, in the economic, in the cultural side in Kenya that a lot of my colleagues had to work to get. And with me, it just existed because I've been following Kenya. I mean, I lived here. I spent some of my youth here, and every time you see a piece in the newspaper about Kenya, you read it just simply because it's something that resonates. Others who haven't lived here maybe won't, but me, I kept I kept following up. And of course, I social media was a godsend for me because it allowed me to reach out and get back in touch with my friends from high school.
Yes.
Before social media, so in the 90s and the early 2000s, you would have to write letters to each other, or once in a while call each other if you were to meet up, and if you were to be in the same city. But all of a sudden, with social media, you were able to reconnect with all these people, and all that happened in the years before I came here. So that was a good. That was really a good. I mean, it made my job. It made the first couple of years of my job a lot easier. Yeah, absolutely.
That is so beautiful. And do you sometimes maybe meet with your older school friends? Maybe your
Yeah, we do.
classmates?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And what fun activities do you like doing when you're in Kenya?
Well, we act like teenagers again.
Okay.
Like I said, Mbuzi parties and Nyamachoma and everything that goes with it.
That is amazing. And so, in one sentence, how does it feel to lead the first net zero embassy in Kenya and the world for Belgium?
In one sentence. Well, there goes the sentence, right? Sorry. Look, the inspiration for my embassy came from a Belgian couple who runs a safari camp in Masai Mara, whose unique selling proposition is that they're net zero carbon neutral. Here's my sentence. If Embo River Camp can do it out in Masai Mara in the bush, and I can retrofit an urban installation like an embassy in Nairobi, then all the dwellings, buildings, businesses that fall in between those two extremes on the spectrum should be able to do something as well. At least something. Not all of it, maybe not the whole package, but at least something. And I think I'm fundamentally convinced that the Kenyan government should not give any building permits, any renovation permits, without a demonstrably better building or a better installation from the environmental perspective. They need to show, what are you doing to make this greener than its predecessor? Have you installed solar panels? Are you capturing your water? Do you have a system whereby you can heat the water in your bathrooms with biogas? Something that makes it greener than its predecessor. I think that's a fundamental thing that the government should do.
That is so beautiful. And so maybe as you just wind up, do you support football? Maybe do you love football? Do
I love football? Well, I watch the Belgian football team, yeah.
Okay.
And I have one team that I've been a fan of forever, yeah.
Which
a Belgian team, Bruges.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in EPL, you don't support any team? Any football team?
In the English Premier League?
Yes.
Not really, no.
Not really?
No.
I thought
I would watch Manchester City because Kevin De Bruyne plays there.
Oh no, that hurts.
Maybe Arsenal. I would watch Arsenal because Jan Vertonghen plays there. By the way, Jan Vertonghen, just to tell you how small this world is. Okay. Jan Vertonghen's grandmother and my mother were cousins.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
We're first cousins. Okay. So I would watch Arsenal because of Jan Vertonghen. Oh, it was Arsenal, wasn't it? Jan Vertonghen? I think so.
Yeah. I thought you were going to mention Manchester United because it's currently the biggest team in the world. Actually, we have a goalkeeper from Belgium, that is Sean Lamens.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But we also have a Belgian goalkeeper at Real Madrid, so...
that is...
Thibaut Courtois is a Belgian goalkeeper. So...
Yeah,
but that's in the Spanish Liga.
So we owe you a great deal. So as we just wind up, this is Dominic's studio. Of course, you're friends with Dominic.
I am.
So maybe one message that you could send to him, or maybe you see how the studio looks beautiful.
Dominic, keep doing what you're doing. This place is amazing. The guys who run this place are doing an absolutely incredible job. Your investment was absolutely well placed.
Thank you. And maybe your last message to the young people out there, and maybe just anybody out there.
Well, there's so many things that you could tell the young people. I'm here because of Pwani Innovation Week. So the whole thing about what the young people, what the youth in Kenya can bring to this country is absolutely mind-boggling. 70% of your population is less than 30 years old, so the youth is not, it's not just the future in this country, it's actually the present. And what we saw in the last couple of years with these Gen Z movements was that youth being ready to take on the responsibility to run the country. Very particularly, so that's a big picture, but very particularly, I think one of the most disappointing things of the election in 2022 was the apathy, especially with the youth. How few young people actually went and voted. Well, how few people actually went and voted, but because your youth is such a big part of the population, that means that there were very few young people that actually went and voted. And it seems to me that in 2027, that your voice needs to be heard. The voice of the young people needs to be heard. Please register. Please make sure you go vote. Having an election with only 25% of the electorate voting is not does not give your leaders the kind of mandate that allows them to do the right thing for the country. You need to have an election with 75, 80, 90% of the electorate voting. And because there's the youth is such a large proportion of the population, trying to get to 75 or 80 or 90% of the population to vote means that a lot of the young people have to go vote. And that means they have to go register. And that registration is happening now. Go do it. Go do it now so that you can vote in 27.
There you have it. So go and register as a voter. That will determine our future. Okay, so thank you so much, Ambassador, for visiting Dominic Studios. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.